Carrigo. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Yes, playoffs. It's the most wonderful time of the year, okay? So I got so much to talk about. Moving forward for the next 2.5 months or whatever, I'm going to analyze every single game individually. I won't lump it all into one podcast. I'm still going to be doing my daily podcast, but I definitely feel like this is a must. For those of you guys who are specifically concerned about specific series, I got you, all right? So, I tried to do this yesterday, but the devil was working really, really hard. Like, when I say really hard, I mean really, really hard. Tried his very best to stop me, but we still here. We are still, hey, it's the crack of, I wouldn't say the crack of dawn, but it's early in the motherfucking morning. It's 4 a.m. where I'm at right now, Los Angeles, California, but I'm going to get into it anyways. So the Celtics defeated the Nets 115-114. I want to be the first to say, in watching this whole game, this shit felt like a game 7. And I literally had to remind myself, like, this is only game 1. This is only game 1. Okay, first of all, I want to be the first to say this. I think it's honestly a travesty and an injustice that one of these two teams has to get bounced in the first round. Both of these teams can win a championship, and like I said, like I keep saying, I don't think we've ever seen a situation or a scenario like this where a first-round matchup pits two teams against each other that can actually win the whole thing, or go really far and make a lot of noise, or and a bunch of other teams, championship dreams. First and foremost, this was a great game tactically, a great game physically. Both teams just brought their A game, and kudos to the refs for keeping shit in check and officiating a great game. And obviously, the first thing I'm gonna analyze is the last play of the game. But one thing that stood out to me the most was, the best part about all that shit is that the Celtics still ran a play, considering that the shot clock was turned off. And even and specifically, I want to point out Jason Tatum. So Jason Tatum is arguably the 5th best player in the NBA, right? And situations like that, that the head honcho wants the ball immediately, right? Jason Tatum, even though he wanted the ball immediately, instead of just hovering around the three-point line, instead of just hovering around the three-point line and pouting if he didn't get the ball and the Celtics missed the shot, he reacted to the ball movement. Like he saw that KD had turned his head to him. KD was staring at the ball. He then cuts. He goes. Reacted to the ball movement, and not once, I don't want to say somehow the ball found him, but Marcus Smart found him. He reacted by spinning because Kyrie almost stole the ball. You would look at the tape, Kyrie almost stole the ball, and then he made the game-winning layup. And I feel like another thing that I noticed that was in most situations, a first-year head coach like Ime Udoka would have called the timeout, but he had the faith within his players that, you know what, they can get this right. They can get a bucket, and we're going to win this game. And, which I feel like was very smart because it didn't allow the Nets to set up a specific defense around Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. And it was just like, like I said, the last play of the game was just indicative of how well, in my opinion, exactly why I think the Celtics will win this series. They are the better team top to bottom. I feel like, yes, the Nets have the best player. Nets have the best 2 players in the series. But the Celtics are the better team. First of all, good. Like, I feel like you rarely see situations where everyone who logs minutes in a playoff game plays valuable, contributes to winning. Like, top to bottom. All 8 players that play for both teams played good basketball. Tatum had 31 points. Jaylen Brown had 23 points. Marcus Smart and Al Horford both put in 20. And this is exactly why I think they will win. Like, who can we consistently say can put in 20 points for the Nets besides KD and Kyrie? Who? I just can't see it. Like, even Steph Curry. I remember watching the game. Steph Curry started off hot. He only finished with 9 points. I think Steph Curry had like the first 6 points for the Nets. He finished off with 9 points. Like, oh, no, that's not going to cut it. That is not going to cut it. And I want to give a big fucking shout out to the Celtics defense. They scouted the fuck out of Kevin Durant. It seemed like the first half he struggled the entire first half. They sent him doubles at the appropriate time. The help defense the helper was there. And another thing, this is the first time I ever seen KD get like stripped multiple times as he's going up for a shot. It happened like 4 or 5 times. Grant Williams did it. Jaylen Brown did it. Jason Tatum did it twice. Like I got to credit the Celtics defense, but I mean it's no surprise because the Celtics are the Celtics. The Celtics have one of the best defenses in the league, so it's not one of the best, the top defense in the league, but. Yeah, great game, top to bottom, and I can't believe that was only game 1 of the series. I want to get into things for the Nets. Some positive for the Nets, I guess. Kyrie Irving was incredible. Kyrie Irving was incredible. Like everybody knows. Like it's just so crazy. Like I feel like we're really privileged to see him ball, and you could I'm actually looking at a picture of Jason Tatum hitting a shot over Kyrie in last year's playoffs on the wall at my studio where I'm recording at. Kyrie Irving is incredible. He had 39 points. He was 6 of 10 from 3. He shot 60% from 3. He was 12 of 20 from the field. He was just simply incredible. He was hitting tough shot after tough. There was one possession where he had the ball. Jaylen Brown is literally in his face, like hand up, like Kyrie takes one side dribble, pulls that bitch, splash, nigga, looking like nigga, I'm a nigga. Kyrie is bro. Kyrie's a handful. Kyrie is a handful. And then KD struggled, 9 for 24. I guess a positive for the Nets is you know that KD's never gonna put out a performance like that again. He put in, even though despite going 9 for 24 from the field, he put in 23 points, even despite his terrible first half. That was might be one of the worst first halves of basketball. Worst halves of basketball I've ever seen Kevin Durant play. And KD didn't play his best, Kyrie did, and they lost at the buzzer. So I mean, I guess there's some positives you could take from that. Like the Nets could walk away as a team thinking, if KD has a more efficient game, then we probably win that game. Or if we don't make a mental lapse on defense, but truthfully, that's what the playoffs is. One play, one mental lapse, one cut, one miscommunication on defense, on offense can decide whether or not you win the game, and that's just truthfully how the game works. But I will say this: Charles Barkley said this on NBA on TNT inside the NBA that. KD and Kyrie's roster, this is how I interpret it. KD and Kyrie's roster is so mid. Outside of those two individuals, the roster is so mid that the two of them damn near have to drop 30 to 40 points every single night to give them a chance to win. And I just don't see, as good as KD and Kyrie is, I just don't see them being able to do that every single. That's to give them a chance to win. So if they don't drop that, then their chances to win probably decrease by 40%. That's just to win. Not even just to win, to stay competitive. To actually win, to stay competitive, each of them has to drop at least 30 points. To actually win, 30 to 40. And I know for a fact if they're not able to produce that on a night in, night out basis, they won't win the series. Win any series at that.